Hi guys, I'm here with Mariel from Best X. Thank you so much for your time. You're back in England. I know that you've been planning this tour for like ever. Last time I saw you here was with the Newfound Glory. A couple of years ago. What is it that you particularly like about the UK or Europe?
So much. I feel like your French fries have better quality cheese on them by like loads. We get some like the weird nacho cheese. It's like not real and it's just like not good. And you get like real cheddar, which is crazy.
I thought about it.
It's like really good, different. That would be the main thing.
Mostly like food related things.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna offend all English people by saying like you guys have not tasted high fructose corn syrup, so I feel like you don't know the true goodness that can be like terrible alcohols with that in it and extra sweet soda and just a bunch of things that are really bad for you. You guys don't even have like the food coloring difference, so you can't eat like blue food regularly.
Because that's what you want to do, like just full time. Why would my fries be like yellowish? That's just boring.
We used to have purple ketchup in the States, which I feel like and green ketchup, which I feel like would be probably not the legal food dyes.
Green ketchup, honestly, if I imagine like dipping anything into anything like green that isn't made from like green peppers or something, I would be terrified.
I think I also like here that I can go to like a doctor and just go and not have to pay like tons and tons of money and worry about it later. I can just go.
That is a great point. That's actually that's pretty good. It's checking a lot of boxes. So on this tour, you're playing solo and acoustic, is that right?
Yeah.
I know that you've done some like acoustic stuff before, but doing like an entire tour, is that something that you've done before?
I did it once in the States to support our acoustic record that came out on Warped Tour. I did it like the year after, that like summer after. But the reason I did it now is because I was kind of testing the waters of, you know, how it is here, because it's so expensive to fly out my whole band and get all the proper visas and all of that kind of thing. And with this, I could just do it without planning very much. Even though I'd really like to come back with my full band, it's just like if I'm doing a DIY show, like this allows me to do a show for free. Whereas like if I brought everybody, I couldn't do it because we wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And all the gear and stuff also.
It's everything. It's like running gear, finding someone to drive you. Like this, I could just take the train from where I was staying, and it was really easy.
How do you think it's different to playing with your full band, or do you have a preference?
I prefer playing with my full band. Actually, I think in a setting like how it is downstairs, it's really nice to play by yourself because it feels like you're with friends and you're like how it used to be in college when I first started really performing, where me and my friends would just kind of share our songs with each other in our living room. But I prefer playing with my band just because, I mean, it's less nerve-wracking. I feel like if I'm going to mess up, I can hide it because they're not messing up. And I also feel like, you know, my song, the vision for my songs is put across that way. Like, I intended them to sound like they sound like when we're a band. Though there are a few that I intended to sound acoustic, which I will play tonight. Yeah. But for the most part, most of my songs I intend it to sound like a full band, and I like being able to show people our full, like what we are.
Yes. But you write most of them acoustically.
Yeah, all of
correct?
them.
Yeah.
All of them. Yeah.
Amazing. Looking forward to that, to hearing some acoustic tunes tonight. So your new EP, Ice Cream Antisocial, sick name.
Thank you.
To me, it sounds quite different from your previous stuff that you did when you were Candy Hearts. Well, I know that you mentioned that the pop punk scene, which Candy Hearts was pretty, like closely affiliated with. I heard that you mentioned that you don't find it a particularly friendly scene, especially towards women.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it is.
So, and last year, obviously, I don't want to get into the whole thing because you kind of obviously like had to like talk about it and deal with it for plenty of time. So I don't want to dive into that. But so with that new record, obviously it's A, you evolving just naturally as an artist, but B, is it also sort of is your intention to speak to a different audience with
I think
that
my
sound?
intention was when I started Candy Hearts, I was playing music and the pop punk scene just like found me. So I started writing songs for those people because they were the ones who supported me and were nice to me and liked our music. So I was writing songs always with them in mind. And I feel like I started to feel really boxed in with how I was supposed to sound, and that sort of sound doesn't really allow you to experiment so much with other things. And I wanted to be able to reach a wider audience and have something that sounds fully like encompasses all of the kind of music that I listen to, which is so much more than just like 90s style pop punk.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to mix in those modern elements, like those really pop sounds and like electric drums and stuff, and still sound super pop punk. It just, to me, would sound really weird together, so I had to branch out in like a sort of different way. Because the kind of music I really like is mostly, I mean, I love a lot of punk stuff, like a lot of fast things. I really like the Thermals and that kind of like old like early 2000s indie rock, kind of like with the fast guitars and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I also really like stuff like the Postal Service and like Rilo Kiley and those bands that manage to keep guitar-based music but add in a lot of electronic elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Postal Service actually is a great example. Another thing that I wanted to ask you about is that you mentioned while being on tour with loads of dudes most of the time, you've sort of experienced feelings of like loneliness and isolation and stuff. How would you, if you could take anyone with you on tour, if you could like, just basically grab loads of your favorite artists or friends, like what would the ultimate tour look like to you? And what would you like
I think
do?
It would be kind of a big bill. Headlining would be Taylor Swift. And then Paramore.
Of course.
Best Coast, Churches, and then maybe Paris.
Sick, yeah.
And us. It'd be, I guess, a festival type thing.
That sounds pretty cool. I mean, and to be honest, doesn't sound that, like, utopian. Taylor.
Love Taylor.
Oh, man. I mean, she's changed also in many ways. I have to be the person that says, oh, I liked her older stuff better. I like the whole
I just
guitar.
don't think that there's anything she can release that I don't like, even if it's, like, the style of music that I don't like. I'm like, well, I like it because it's her. I'm just like so biased.
There are artists. No, absolutely. There are artists like that where they can just get away with anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, also like Paramore, their latest.
They're the same.
record,
they could do anything, and I would think it's fantastic.
Exactly. Like most people are like, oh my god, After Laughter is their best one ever. I have to say, it's not my favorite one, but again, because it's them, I'm like, oh, it's sick.
I really like it a lot, but I have a soft spot for their self-titled because of the time of my life that it came out.
Oh, yeah. I can relate to that. Absolutely. Okay, so your favorite song off of Ice Cream Antisocial, I heard, is Only Life. And you sing about your cat. My cat is my best friend, but she don't give a damn about me. Is she like really sassy and like ignores you and stuff? What is she like?
I wouldn't say she ignores me. I feel like with all cats, her attention is just like on her terms. Like she wants me to play with her all day, 100% of the time, chase her around the house. And I just want to sit with her and not do anything. And she doesn't really care to like sometimes she'll accept it if she's sleeping and I just move her on me, she'll just be like fine, but I feel like she's just agreeing.
Yeah. You have a piece of merch with her on it, I think, too.
We had a few actually. Last time when we played with Newfound Glory here, I made a shirt that had her on it and I put like a third eye on her head, but she looked like a kitten then because she was a kitten. We had just gotten her like the year prior, and her fur didn't actually come in yet. Really? It was
she just
but a year later her fur came in, so now there's another shirt and she has still not the amount of fur of a normal cat, but enough.
So like
where she doesn't like freak people out anymore.
Okay, good. Is it like a young kid, like trying to grow a beard. And
yeah, it's pretty patchy. Like her tummy's a little bald, and it's. I love. I don't know. I like weird looking things.
That's pretty weird looking in my head.
She is, yes. But
she sounds really rad and cool. So another song that I really love off your new EP is Jellyfish. And I heard that you had like really bad tonsillitis, which is amazing because it sounds incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't even. Tonsillitis is just like, I need my tonsils taken out.
I want to as well.
I don't want to. That's why I haven't. But the reality of it is that, I mean, they kind of changed the standards now with how freely they pull them out of people.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, they don't recommend it anymore. Yeah. But 3 years ago, they would have recommended I get them ripped out, and I just didn't want to. Well, then I was touring a lot, and it would have been really damaging. Now I just am. I don't want to get surgery. It hurts. I don't want to do it.
I know, and the worst part is the older you get, the more it hurts. Like, when loads of children get them out, and like they're fine after a week, and apparently it's like the most excruciating procedure.
Yeah, I don't know. My brother's girlfriend got him out when she was an adult. She says it's not that bad, but I just don't want to do it. I just keep taking antibiotics, hoping they'll work. And that was one of those times I just I knew it was coming, and I'm like, I've been working on this record for so long, and I wasn't working at one particular time or one particular week. We didn't have a label backing us at that moment. So it wasn't like, here's the money, this is the week you have to do it. It wasn't like that. So to convince people to do things for cheap or free to make the record, it's on their time, which it should be. It's not, my time's not important. I'm not paying them anything, but so it's when they can squeeze me in. So the record was taking forever to make, and I was just like, I cannot cancel this. I have to just try.
Well, it worked out.
Thank you.
Really well. Do you have any other anecdotes about the making of this record?
I think it was pretty normal. I mean, it was kind of a lot more DIY than it sounds. I made a DIY record. It just so happens that my friends who helped me with it are not what you would consider I don't know what the line of DIY is. We did it ourselves, but they work on major projects.
Okay.
So they did. The main producer for it did remixes for Kanye and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's intense.
He did stuff like that. But we still did it in a room in Brooklyn, and all the vocals that I recorded in a vocal booth that when you saw us play, the girl who was with us playing guitar, her bedroom, they built a vocal booth, and we recorded it there in the basement off of her roommate's room, and the common, it was they literally built a vocal booth in the hallway.
Sick.
The last song we did, whatever the last song was, I can't remember what it was. We couldn't do it in the vocal booth because they were subletting out the basement to someone else, and we can't just, someone's paying to live there, so we can't just invade their space. So we did record it actually in a closet. But I can't remember which song that was.
That's great. I mean, that's great. If you're not able to hear it, then that's fantastic.
No, I don't think you would have been able to hear it yet.
It's a really professional closet.
Maybe someone can guess what it is by listening to the record, and I'm sure someone who was there knows which one it was.
If there's a mega audio nerd, maybe, but maybe
that's
not.
That's
amazing.
Not me. I don't know.
Can I make a really lame transition? Ice cream antisocial. Do you actually binge eat ice cream and stuff?
Well, when do I binge eat ice cream? I eat ice cream every single day, and that's not even an exaggeration, because when I'm home, I actually do, to the point where my boyfriend has been like, no, I don't want any, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't want any? It's time for ice cream. And my mom just buys it every time she goes to the grocery store, just because
it's a routine thing.
I eat it every single day, sometimes in the place of meals. And I think when I was writing that record, I definitely stayed home a lot, just eating that instead of going through the effort of making a meal.
Shopping
because to me it's
no.
Well, it's it has protein in it, so that's better than I could do with something else. It'll sustain you. I'm not saying everyone should only eat ice cream, but like, you won't die, like, quickly that way.
It's healthier than you think. It does have health benefits. I didn't know about the protein, but there you go. Calcium too, probably.
Yeah, and I know I'm lacking those things. I don't get it from really anywhere else. So
it's like, damn, this girl's got an amazing health record. Yeah, what can I say? You're gonna be like the 115-year-old lady that, like, when they ask,
what's your secret?
What's your secret to staying young? Yeah, just Tubbs ice cream. What's your favorite flavor?
That's hard. I like mint chocolate chip a lot.
Ah, sick.
I think peppermint stick would be my favorite, but that's only in, like...
Peppermint stick?
Yeah, sometimes I have it around the holidays, and in a local place by me, they always have it.
What's a peppermint stick?
Like a candy cane, it tastes like.
Oh, okay. Okay, wow.
So it's different than, like, mint chocolate chip, which is, like, spearmint flavored. Yeah. It's, like, flavored like the red mints, like, that you get from a restaurant or something.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that they had that. America.
It's not, yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of crazy stuff.
What can I say? America. Do you eat ice cream and then, like, watch Netflix and stuff?
Yeah. My routine was pretty much every day. I was unemployed for a bit, and then I worked only in the mornings. So I would eat ice cream while I was watching, do you have the Lifetime Network here? It's like movies for...
No.
It's the women's network, but it's like really movies for like middle-aged women.
Sick.
And it's always like they always follow the same kind of formula of like, it's like a daughter and her mom, and like something happens to the daughter, whether it's like a stalker boyfriend, a murderer, an assault. There's something always happens to the daughter, and then the mom like is the only one who knows that this thing is happening, and no one will believe her, and it's up to her to solve it, you know?
You've got me hooked. I'm like...
They're all the same. They're like all the same. And I actually have trouble figuring out which ones I've watched because all the descriptions are so similar. I'm like, I could have watched that, or it could be different. But that's what I would watch because it's on demand, and they have just a ton, so I would just watch it, yeah.
Wow, I mean, that sounds beyond intriguing. I was going to ask you what your favorite, like, Netflix show was, but if that's better than Netflix, I mean, sounds like it.
I mean, I think it's not necessarily better. I would say it's more consistent, whereas something on Netflix can be amazing or like so horrible that you're like, why did I even waste my time on this? That is always at least like not great but fine.
Yeah, you can rely on it.
Some are really good, like the ones now. The ones from the 90s are like, they're like fine.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so that's how you spend your time.
Yes.
Cool. If you're not playing with your cat or forcing her to not be
forcing
so
her
hyper.
to cuddle with me, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Have a great show tonight. Really looking forward to it. Thanks.
Yay.